He had a product that would not sell. $40 sitting on a clean store, real photos, decent traffic, and almost nobody bought it. So he did something that sounds insane. He changed nothing about the product. Same item, same price, same supplier, same shipping. He touched only the words around it, the promise wrapped around it, the thing an expert would call the offer. And within 2 weeks, the exact same product that could not sell was selling out. Here is the part that should stop you cold. He did not get a better product. He built a better offer, and the offer is the thing almost every beginner ignores completely, because they are convinced the product is the whole game. I am going to walk you up the exact ladder he climbed, one layer of the offer at a time, starting with the piece you have probably heard, and climbing all the way to the single move that decides whether a stranger buys now or closes the tab forever. And that final move, the one that actually flips the sale, I am saving for the end, because it only makes sense once you have watched every weaker layer stack up in front of you. Stay with me, because here is what makes the wrong belief so quietly expensive. You think you have a product problem. You keep hunting for a better item, a hotter niche, a cheaper supplier, another thing to test, when the product you already have could sell just fine. The truth is uglier and better than that. 2 stores can sell the identical item from the identical factory at the identical price, and one prints money while the other hears crickets. The difference is not the product, it is everything the product is wrapped in. And almost every beginner spends all their energy on the box and none on the bow, then blames the box when nobody buys. I want you to hold a picture in your head for the rest of this. 2 windows, side by side, same $40 item glowing in each. Behind one window, a line of people is buying. Behind the other, tumbleweeds. Nothing about the item explains that gap. By the end, you will be able to look at any dead product in your store and see, instantly, which window you built. Hold on to that, because once you see what an offer really is, you cannot unsee how much of it you have been leaving completely empty. So let me define the thing first, because the word offer gets thrown around and never explained. Your product is the item. Your offer is everything a stranger weighs in the 2 seconds before they decide. What they get, what it does for them, what it costs, what happens if it goes wrong, and why they should act today instead of someday. The product is one ingredient, the offer is the whole meal. Nobody sits down hungry and orders a raw potato. They order the dish, the smell, the warm plate, the promise of how it will feel to eat it. And you can take a plain, ordinary product, the raw potato, and by stacking the offer correctly, make a cold stranger feel like walking away would be the stupid choice. That is the entire craft, and it climbs in layers, 4 of them, and then one move on top that ties the whole thing together. We climb from the bottom. Let me start with the layer everybody gets wrong first, because it feels like the obvious one, and it is the weakest on its own. Beginners describe the object: stainless steel, 2000 mAh battery, ships in a nice box. Nobody has ever, in the history of buying things, gotten excited about a spec sheet. A cold stranger does not want a stainless steel item. They want the warm dinner it makes possible, the compliment they will get, the annoying problem that finally disappears. The first layer of the offer is this: sell the after, not the object. Do not tell them what it is. Tell them who they become the moment it arrives. Let me make that concrete. Picture a simple posture strap, $40. The losing store writes, adjustable neoprene back brace, breathable, one size fits most. Every word is true, and every word is dead. The winning store writes, stand 2 inches taller by Friday and stop catching your own hunched reflection in every shop window. Same strap. But one describes an object, and the other describes a Friday you actually want. Or take blue light glasses, losing version, anti-glare polycarbonate lenses, winning version, get to the end of a workday without that headache sitting behind your eyes. Feel the difference. One is a fact about a thing, the other is a scene from the buyer's own life with the pain lifted out of it. The exact same product, described as a thing, sells to almost nobody, and described as an outcome, suddenly has a reason to exist. But naming the outcome only gets a stranger interested. It does not yet make the price feel worth it, and that is the next layer up. Layer 2. Make the value feel enormous next to the price. Here is the quiet mistake. A person does not compare your price to zero. They compare your price to what they believe they are getting. $40 for a thing feels expensive. $40 for a thing that saves them an hour every single morning feels like a steal. The move the winners make is to stack the value out loud until the price looks small underneath it. Not by line, by counting. Let me actually count with you on that $40 item so you see the trick in slow motion. Start with the item itself, that is the obvious part. Then name what it replaces. If it does the job of three cheaper things they were about to buy separately, a gadget, a subscription, a monthly little purchase, say so, out loud, in numbers. Now the $40 is standing next to the 80 or 90 it saves. Then count the time. If it gives back an hour every morning, that is not nothing, that is 5 hours a week, that is a whole waking day every single month handed back to them. Say that out loud too. Then, and this is the move beginners skip, add the small extra that costs you almost nothing but reads as a real bonus, a quick start guide, a template, a spare part in the box, a short video that shows the best way to use it. Each of those costs you a few cents or an afternoon once, and each one lands in the buyer's mind as another thing they are getting for the same $40. By the time you have named everything they are actually getting, the item, the things it replaces, the time it hands back, the bonuses, the price is not sitting next to zero anymore. It is sitting next to a pile of value that dwarfs it. Same product, same $40. But now the number feels like the cheap side of the trade. And notice something. That shift from expensive to obviously worth it did not come from the product. It came from what you stacked around it, and from having the nerve to count it out loud instead of assuming they would do the math themselves. They never do the math themselves. But even a stranger who wants the outcome and thinks the price is fair can still freeze, and layer 3 is the reason they freeze. Layer 3, and this is the one that quietly rescues more sales than any clever ad, because it removes the thing that actually stops people, the risk. Put yourself in the stranger's shoes for 1 second. They have never held your product. They have never heard of your store. They are being asked to pay first and trust that a box shows up, that it works, that it is not junk, that if it is junk they are not stuck arguing with a dead email address. Every one of those fears is a hand on the exit, and you can take almost all of them off the table with a single move. Flip the risk from their shoulders onto yours. A real, plainly stated guarantee. If it does not do what I promised, you get your money back, no argument, no hoops, keep the bonus guide either way. Watch what that does. The stranger is no longer betting $40 on whether you are honest. You are betting on whether your product is good. You just took the scariest part of the decision and swallowed it yourself. And the words matter more than beginners think. Compare two guarantees. One says 30-day returns, see policy for conditions. The other says use it for 30 days, and if you are not standing taller, email me the word refund and I will send your money back that day, no questions. The first one sounds like a trap with fine print. The second one sounds like a person who is not afraid of their own product. Same policy underneath roughly. Completely different feeling on the way to the buy button. And here is the counterintuitive part beginners never believe until they try it. A strong guarantee does not get abused into bankruptcy. Say 100 people were on the fence. A weak, mumbled return policy converts a handful of them. A bold, specific guarantee converts far more, because you just handed the nervous ones permission to trust you. Maybe 2 or 3 of those extra buyers ask for a refund. You are still far ahead, because you sold to all the ones who would have quietly left. The fear was costing you far more sales than the refunds ever will. The refunds are a rounding error. The fear was the whole bill. But even a stranger who wants it, thinks it is worth it, and feels safe buying, can still do the one thing that kills more sales than all the others combined. They can decide to buy it later, and later almost never comes. Layer 4. Give them a real reason to buy now instead of someday. This is the silent killer. Not a no, And not yet. The stranger likes it, trusts it, means to come back, and then life happens and they never do. A delayed sale is a dead sale, almost every time. Think about your own life. How many things have you meant to come back and buy, fully intending to, and simply never did? That is not a rare buyer, that is almost every buyer. So the offer needs a reason that today beats tomorrow. And it has to be real, because a fake countdown that resets every time they refresh the page is a lie they can smell, and it burns the trust every other layer just built. I have watched this backfire. A store slaps a flashing timer on the page, ends in 10 minutes, and the buyer refreshes out of curiosity, and the timer springs right back to 10 minutes. In that 1 second, every honest thing the store said becomes suspect. The guarantee, the reviews, all of it now were in quotation marks. One fake timer can undo 4 real layers. So make the urgency honest, because honest urgency works even better. A bonus that genuinely goes away after this launch. A price that genuinely steps up when this batch sells through. A limited run that is actually limited because you actually only ordered so many. A free shipping window that actually closes on Sunday. The point is not to trick them into panic. It is to answer the quiet question every buyer asks: why not just wait, with a true reason that waiting costs them something real, and you can even tell them the honest reason out loud. This bonus disappears when this batch ships because I only had 100 guides printed. That sentence does 2 jobs at once. It creates urgency and it makes you sound like a real person who is not playing games. Take that reason away, and even a perfect offer leaks buyers who fully intended to come back and simply never did. So now you have 4 layers stacked. The outcome, not the object, value that dwarfs the price, risk flipped onto you. A true reason to act today, and an offer with all 4 is genuinely strong. But strong is not what made his dead product sell out. There is one move above all of these, and this is the turn I promised you at the very start. This is the thing that separates a good offer from the one that quietly closes the sale every time. Here it is. Every layer you just stacked is really doing one single job, and once you see it, you will build offers completely differently. An offer does not sell by adding more, it sells by removing the last reason to say no. Picture the stranger's mind as a row of small doors, and behind each one is an objection. I do not get what this does for me. It costs too much. What if it is junk? What if it breaks? What if it does not fit? Why buy now? What if I just wait? Every layer of the offer closes one of those doors, sell the outcome, and the first door shuts. Stack the value, the second. Flip the risk, the third and fourth. Give a true reason to act, the fifth. And here is why the order matters, why we climbed instead of jumping straight to the top. You cannot close the last door if the first ones are still hanging open. Handing a nervous stranger a guarantee means nothing if they never understood what the thing does for them in the first place. Each layer only lands because the one below it already closed its door. That is why it is a ladder and not a pile. The sale does not happen when the last good thing is added. It happens the instant the final open door closes, when the stranger looks for one more reason to wait and cannot find a single one. That is the whole secret. The winning offer is not the one with the most stuff piled on. It is the one where every possible reason to walk away has already been answered before the stranger even thinks of it. You got there first. You stood at every exit before they reached it. His dead product did not need a better version. It needed every exit quietly closed, one by one, until saying yes was easier than saying no. That is what an offer actually is, not a pitch, the systematic removal of every reason to leave. So here is how you actually use this, starting with the very product sitting unsold in your store right now. Do not go find a new product. Take the one you have and build the offer around it, layer by layer, out loud on the page. First, write the after, not the object, the person they become when it arrives, the Friday they actually want. Second, stack every scrap of value until the price looks small underneath the pile, and count it in numbers, do not make them do the math. Third, flip the risk with a guarantee you actually mean. word it like a person and not a lawyer, and swallow the fear yourself. Fourth, give one true reason that today beats someday, and if you can, tell them the honest reason it is true. Then do the move that matters most, the move above all the others. Sit in the stranger's chair and hunt for every reason you would personally walk away, every open door, and answer each one right there on the page before they ever have to ask it. Read your own page as the most skeptical, tired, distrustful version of your buyer, the one with their thumb already drifting toward the back button, and every time that version thinks "but what about?" you go add the answer. When that voice runs out of buts, you are done. That is the whole job. The man with the dead product did not have a better item than you. He had an offer that left a cold stranger with nowhere left to run except the buy button. Same product, every exit closed. So do not go hunting for a hotter product the way you were about to a minute ago. The item in your store is probably fine. What is empty is everything wrapped around it, the outcome you never named, the value you never counted, the risk you never took off their shoulders, the reason to act you never gave, and the objections you left standing wide open like doors in an empty house. Build the offer, not another product, because the product is the part anyone can copy from the same factory, the same photos, the same $40 item. The offer, the exact way you close every door between a stranger and yes, is the one thing on your whole store that is truly yours, the one thing a competitor cannot order from the same supplier. That is the difference between an item that sits there quietly draining you and the identical item that finally actually sells. Same box, different bow. That was the whole gap in those two windows from the start. If this made you look at that unsold product a little differently, subscribe, because the next video is the other half of this exact story. Once your offer closes every door, how to write the one product page that walks a cold stranger straight through all of it in the right order without losing them at a single line. And I put the full offer scorecard, the exact 4 layers plus the objection hunt to run before you launch anything, down in the description, free, so you never blame the product again for a sale the offer was quietly losing. Go build the offer around what you already have. Close every door, especially the last one, because a stranger with their thumb on the screen is looking for any reason at all to leave, and your only job, the whole job, is to make sure there is not one left.